Hey guys, it's me again. I wanted to do my nail polish video, but this is the video I actually wanted to do today. In honor of Halloween, today I would like to talk about my favorite movie monsters. And those kind of movies are near and dear to me. But the first thing I want to show you before I start is my friend Shelly got me this thing called My Pet Ghost. And this pet ghost is named Julian Hijinks. I say Julian Hijinks because that sounds fancier. And if you press the button on the top, well, I guess it'd help if I turn the on button, huh? My bad. The baby ghost shows up. And obviously you can't see it as well because I'm near a very well-lit window. But I just think he's so cute. And I'm going to take this tomorrow and show my class. And then we'll probably flip out. But I just thought he was adorable and kind of goes with the theme. But I wanted to talk about my favorite movie monsters today. And number one, Rochelle would argue, is not an actual monster. So maybe I need to be specific. I pick for my top Teen Wolf, when he's an actual wolf, played by Michael J. Fox in the movie. I love Teen Wolf. I think the movie is not like super appropriate for younger people because there's a little bit of sexy time stuff in it. But I love Michael J. Fox. Always have, and I especially love his character as Teen Wolf. For some reason, I just think werewolves are really cool. And I like that he, rather than being like a scary man-eating werewolf, he's just like a typical teenager, wants to play on the basketball team. And I love that he's just like hairy and howls at the moon and basically a big, just a big dog. And I just think he's really cool. So that's my top one. And then the next one is Salem the Cat. Anybody that was like a child of the 90s knows about Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I used to love that show. I still really like Melissa Joan Hart. But I love Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And my favorite character on there was Salem. Salem was a black cat who actually was a human, and he was, he's being punished by being a cat for the rest of his life for trying to take over the world. And he's just so cute. I love black cats, and I especially like that Salem is so sarcastic. And, you know, he just sits down and eats waffles with the rest of the family. And he has so many, where he is a human, so many human characteristics. He just makes being a cat really funny. And he's always getting into trouble, and he and Sabrina have this whole, like, sarcastic banter going back and forth. I just think he's really cool. But I especially like that he's kind of smart aleck, and then at the end of the day just wants to be pet and loved on. But I just like Salem a lot. The next one is Gizmo / the Gremlins. The Gremlins used to kind of scare me, but I always thought Gizmo was really cute. I had a doll of him when I was little that a lot of my friends were afraid of. But if you're not familiar with Gremlins, look up the movie because it's really cute. And oddly enough, the movie is actually more like Christmas themed. But Gizmo is this little like alien guy who is good until he gets water on him. Whenever he gets water on him, he spawns these like evil, scary gremlin aliens off of his back that terrorize this whole town. But Gizmo is cute and lovable, and he has these big, sweet little eyes. And he kind of is like, he's not exactly like Alf. I think he's a lot cuter than Alf the alien, actually. But he's very small, like about the size of my dog Webster, and he just looks like a little teddy bear, and he's so cute, and he's my favorite. And the next one is Jacob the Werewolf. I don't think I have to explain why Jacob the Werewolf is one of my favorite movie monsters. He's hot. Taylor Lautner's hot. Even as a wolf, like he has a pretty fur. I know that sounds really dumb, but he's just this very pretty animal and a very pretty man when he turns into a human, and it's kind of hard not to like a really, 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 really hot dude who wants to protect. And in the movie, of course, Jacob's job is, he's in love with Bella's character. He just wants to protect her. And when she gets cold, they're like up on a mountain somewhere. I don't even remember what happens. But she ends up in a tent, and Jacob like cuddles around her and keeps her warm. I'm just like, man, that is a cool monster. The next one is E.T. Rochelle is terrified of E.T. and hates E.T., but I think E.T. is adorable. The movie is a little bit, I still don't know if I'm like totally sold on the movie because it's just kind of sad, but I love E.T. I love that his favorite candy is Reese's Pieces. I love that he's interested in like modern things and pop culture and learning about the world around him. And I love that he talks like and stuff. I just think he's adorable, and I love that he is, there's so many portrayals of aliens in the like the media and in movies and stuff, where they're scary and they like pop out your stomach or cut off your head or probe you or whatever they do. And I like that E.T. is just a friendly, happy monster. If I had to be abducted by aliens, I would want it to be E.T. because he's not scary. And the next one is Aragog the spider. I talk about Aragog a lot. I'm not normally a huge fan of spiders, but I do like Aragog mainly because he's best friends with Hagrid from the Harry Potter series. I like that Aragog is semi-friendly, non-threatening, giant, terrifying spider, but he's just perfect for Halloween because he's huge and he's hairy, and a lot of people are afraid of spiders, and I would really like to get or make a giant Aragog thing to put out in my yard and freak all the kids out in the neighborhood. And the next one is the alien from Mac and Me. That's another 90s classic where my favorite part of that whole movie is they have a dance scene in McDonald's. And being a child of the 80s and 90s, like, you have to love McDonald's and the McDonald's Happy Meals. And my grandfather used to have a clothing store, and he would sell all those kids' clothes in the clothing store. And so the fact that they wear that in the Mac and Me movie, I just think is so funny. But Mac is an alien that ends up getting separated from his family through like a government experiment, almost an experience. And he ends up staying with this little boy in a wheelchair, and he survives off of drinking Coke out of a can with a straw, so he's like my soulmate. And he's just another, like, in the same kind of family as E.T., very friendly and very innocent and learning about the world around him, and I just think he's really cool. And plus the fact that he dances in McDonald's, you know, that's money. And then I lied. The next one is Eddie Munster. I really like the Munster series that used to come on in the 50s and the 60s, and Eddie in particular is my favorite. Again, he's a werewolf, and anyone that watches our videos knows I'm team werewolf. But Eddie is green and has like these huge pointed ears, and I don't know if they ever show him on the TV show with sharp teeth or not, but he has this doll that he carries around Wolfie that looks like your typical movie monster werewolf. What I like about Eddie Munster is he just goes to school like a regular boy, and he's a werewolf, and he's the son of Frankenstein and the grandson of Dracula. And so, like, that's a pretty gangster lineage to come from. And I love that Eddie Munster has a giant pet dragon, and he turns his grandfather into a bat for show and tell day at school. And he's just a cool little dude, and I like that despite the fact that his parents are kind of loopy, you know, he just goes about his business and has friends, and just seems like a upstanding citizen considering he could kill people. The next one is Cujo. I'm not a huge scary movie fan, but for some reason I really liked Cujo when I was younger. Cujo is a giant Saint Bernard who is evil, and it's been so long since I've seen the movie, I can't remember if he's evil because he has rabies or if he's just evil, but it would make sense that he would have rabies. But anyway, Cujo kills people and terrorizes his family, and the scariest part, and St. Bernards, for those of you who haven't seen them in person, are huge. I didn't realize, because I used to watch the Beethoven movies, and I never realized like they were that big, but they are huge. Actually Rochelle's neighbor has one that used to chase our car. I mean, it was the scariest thing. I just didn't realize like I could ride a St. Bernard like a pony to school. It was crazy. But Cujo in particular is bad because of course he kills people and has a vengeance against people and doesn't like them. And the scariest part of that whole movie, besides like all the parts where he's killing people, is they get outside and the family gets into their car, and Cujo jumps on top of the car and looks in the windshield, and is just like covered in blood, like ready to kill them. And that's some crazy stuff. But I just think Cujo's kind of gangster, and I like that about him. So check that movie out if you're into scary movies, and if you're not, don't watch it because it'll freak you out. The next monster is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. I think that's a given. Slimer used to kind of gross me out, the other little green ghost, although I did like the Slimer Ecto Cooler drinks that High C used to put out. Those were amazing. But I didn't like him as much as a movie monster. Like, he's pretty funny, but I didn't like how he was always eating food and just kind of, I don't like gross out stuff. And I think Slimer was in the Ghostbusters movie mainly for gross out jokes, and I just thought that was nasty. So instead I like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I know he's huge. I'm made of marshmallows, so the marshmallow part is awesome because I love marshmallows. but he terrorized the city, of course, where the Ghostbusters work. And the thing that I like about him is he's got, like, despite the fact he's enormous and he's super dangerous, he has the cutest, smiliest little face. Just little marshmallows, little smiley face on it. And he's like the most, besides his size, probably the most unintimidating monster I've ever seen. And I just like that he has that, like, friendly element to him. It looks like you just want to hug him, but then he'll kill you. So I don't know. I just like him a lot. And then the last one I'm kind of torn about because, like I said in our Harry Potter tag, Dobby the house elf freaked me out. And the only reason I'm adding him to this list is because he, at the end, did try to do something noble and help Harry. And so, props for that. The lamest monster is a tie between Edward Cullen. Sorry, Edward Cullen fans, but you sparkle like a Barbie doll. And that's lame. And then the other one would have to be Smeagol from The Lord of the Rings. Smeagol's just gross to look at. He just freaks me out. He doesn't really even do any. I mean, I guess Lord of the Rings fan would argue all the time. I just don't like that. And the scariest, ooh, you know what monster I forgot that I love is Falkor. I totally forgot about Falkor. Actually, he might even be higher on my list than Teen Wolf. Falkor is a giant pink dragon from the Never-Ending Story who helps the little boy, who I'm at a loss for what his name is for some reason, helps him navigate the world in this book he's reading, hence the Never-Ending Story. And Falkor can fly, and he's huge, this huge pink dragon, and he has this, like, really deep man voice, and he just helps him throughout the movie and protects him from stuff. And he's massive. He's like as big as my street, I guess. And Atreyu, whatever that boy's name is. Put it in the comments below if you remember, because I'm feeling dumb that I can't remember. But anyway, whatever the heck his name is, rides around on Falkor and, like, fights people, and he helps them travel. And Falkor is just amazing. He's just like this giant, big, friendly dragon who's pink and hairy like cotton candy with the face of a dog. And he just, I think, would be maybe the coolest pet ever. I would love to have it. No offense, Webster. I would love to have a giant pink Falkor dog. I think he's awesome. And then the tie for the scariest would have to be Tim Curry. Tim Curry just freaks me out. I don't care if he's in It or the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I just think, like, him as a person, and I'm sure he's probably a nice man, but he and Kevin Spacey just give me the creeps. Like, I have nightmares about both of them all the time. I know that sounds nuts, but they just freak me out. And they would be tied with the Rock Baby from Never-Ending Story. The Rock Baby from Never-Ending Story 2, that the Rock Woman comes out, that is the creepiest baby ever. Like, I think the Rock Baby is creepier than Chucky. But maybe that's just me. But anyway, this movie's ridiculous. I mean, this video is ridiculous. Let me know what your favorite Halloween or just movie monster in general is below. I'd be really curious to see your thoughts on that. And I could go on, but I won't. And so hopefully I will hear from you soon, and see you next time. Bye.